Divorce in Colorado? Are you feeling lost about dividing all your stuff? Don't panic. Welcome to this guide on how to handle splitting up your stuff during a Colorado divorce. It's a sensitive subject and tricky as well, but grasping the basics can give you more control during this tough period. Whether you're thinking about divorce or already going through it, this video provides you with important information for both before and after you separate. What's going on, family? It's Bobby Friel with the Just Living Realty Group. Please take notes during this next few minutes, and thank you for visiting with me today. I've gone through a divorce myself and have helped dozens of clients through this very same situation. And on this channel, we cover tough topics like divorce in Colorado real estate as well as mortgage. Before we head off to review this comprehensive guide to real estate and divorcing matters with couples that are going through separation, please head down and like this video. And if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell click for notifications when new videos are uploaded. And we get so many phone calls, emails, and texts every single day from people just like you going through a divorce. And honestly, the team and I, we love helping people guide seamlessly through the process. So reach out and we'll help you. Colorado is an equitable distribution state. This means that the court will divide property in a divorce based on what seems fair or it deems fair, rather than dividing it equally between the two parties. And to make this determination, the court will consider many different factors, including but not limited to the length of the marriage, each spouse's financial needs, each spouse's earning capacity, any prior marriages of either spouse, the couple's standard of living during the marriage, the age and health of each spouse, the contribution each spouse made during the marriage, including homemaking and child rearing, the value of each spouse's separate property. With all these considerations on the table, it's important to note the court has a great deal of discretion when dividing the property in a divorce. This means that there's no one-size-fits-all answer regarding how property will be divided in your specific divorce. Instead, it's going to all come down to the judge's ruling after considering all these factors. Let's see what it means and some important things to consider before getting a divorce. As we briefly touched on earlier, but I'll explain a bit further, in Colorado, that's an equitable distribution state. It's not equal split. In Colorado divorce, it's not always a straight 50-50 split. It's more like dividing the assets fairly, considering who built the home sweet home, who brought the cars, who needs that one special asset the most. That's what equitable distribution means, dividing things up justly, not just equally. So even if you and your spouse contributed equally to buying the house, for instance, other things like who takes care of the kids or who has a lower income might affect how the house is divided in the end. Secondly, please know your stuff. Now, before you start dividing those assets, or houses, or cars, or bank accounts, you need to figure out which ones belong to whom. In Colorado, there's two main piles: marital property and separate property. Marital property is like the assets that you build together, things acquired during the marriage. Separate property, on the other hand, is like your favorite stuffed animal that you had before you two even met, things you owned before or inherited. Knowing which pile seems to belong to each item is important, so don't let that confuse you, because the only marital assets you get are going to be shared in the divorce. So gather up your receipts, your bank statements, and even that old prenup if you have one, to figure out who brought what to the marriage party. Next, well, it's a tricky one. You need to assemble your team. Remember that tricky game of Monopoly where you needed to buy houses and hotels? Well, navigating divorce can be just as complicated. That's why having a good team on your side is absolutely essential. Think of your real estate agent, your mortgage loan officer, and your lawyer as your coaches, helping you understand the rules, negotiate the best deals, and avoid getting stuck in boardwalk bankruptcy. And even if you're aiming for an amicable split, having a lawyer review your agreements and protect your interests is like having a seasoned Monopoly player on your side. Making sure the game stays fair and fun, well, of course, as fun as a divorce can be anyways, and talk it out. Remember how sometimes in Monopoly, the best way to win is to talk your opponent into making a deal. Communication in a divorce is also key. Even if things are tense, try to have open and honest conversations with your spouse about your finances and what you each hope to achieve. Being upfront with your needs and concerns can help you find common ground and maybe even avoid a long, drawn-out court battle. Think of it like negotiating a trade for that park place that you both desperately want. Sometimes compromise is the way to build the most impressive property portfolio and the smoothest divorce process. Another thing that you need for a smooth divorce process is to obviously stay organized. Let's face it, keeping track of all those monopoly houses and that money can be a bit of a headache. So in divorce, dealing with paperwork and financial documents, that can be even more overwhelming. But staying organized is key. Gather up all your financial statements, your bank details, and any property deeds like you're collecting rent on all those boardwalk hotels. Having everything in one single place, a folder, will help you find things easier when your lawyer or somebody like me, like your real estate agent or mortgage loan officer, needs those down in the future. And by the way, those are just the first steps in your Colorado divorce. By understanding the basics of equitable distribution, knowing your property, and assembling your team, you can approach this process with confidence and work towards a fair and just outcome. In the next part, we're going to get deeper into the steps of the divorce process itself, from valuation and negotiation to legal agreements and potential court involvement. Remember, staying organized is your absolute best friend in this game. Now, with all your paperwork in hand, it's time to figure out just how much those monopoly properties, aka your assets, are worth in today's market. Isn't about how much you paid for the beach house 10 years ago or the mountain property 5 years ago. It's about its current value. If you want to see what your home value could be, reach out and I'd be happy to do a comparative market analysis for you, considering I'm a real estate agent. Hiring appraisers or financial experts might be needed for those things like businesses, fancy retirement accounts. Think of them as expert monopoly valuers, ensuring everyone plays fair in the latest property prices. Once you know what everything's worth, it's negotiation time. Just like in Monopoly, where you wheel and deal for Park Place, most Colorado divorces involve talking things out and finding win-win situations. This is where mediation comes in. It's like having a neutral monopoly referee help you strike the deal. A mediator works with both you and your spouse to find fair ways to split up the properties and debts, saving you time, money, and maybe even your sanity. But what if monopoly negotiations break down? No worries, there's a court system for that. If you can't seem to reach an agreement through talks, the judge becomes the ultimate monopoly dealer, deciding how assets get divided. They'll review all the evidence in Colorado's rules of the game, then issue a decree outlining who gets what. That's the final monopoly board flip, settling things once and for all. Hold on, one more thing before you celebrate owning Boardwalk. Let's see what comes after the deal is struck and how to move forward to your new post-monopoly life. So you survived the game of divorce. Congratulations, you made it through dividing up those properties and debts. Now it's time to pack up the game pieces and head into a fresh board, your post-divorce life. But before you roll the dice to the unknown, a few housekeeping tasks remain. It's almost like putting away the game pieces and tidying up the board. First things first, make sure everything changes hands like it should. Remember that fancy house that we talked about and you scored during negotiations? You need to officially transfer the title to your name, like updating the deed with your brand new solo ownership. That could be done through a mortgage refinance. That also goes for the bank accounts, investments, and even cars. So make sure the paperwork reflects the new owners. Mortgages or loans need refinancing because of the split. I can help you tackle that head on as well. It's all about setting up your financial house. Make sure that's in order before starting your new life. Next, become a record-keeping champion. You need to document your monopoly property deeds. Get detailed records of your new individual assets and debts, like those new bank statements and your new bills. This helps you track all of your financial progress and gives you proof of ownership if any future puzzle pieces need sorting out. Remember, organization is your friend, even after the divorce board is cleared. But life isn't all paperwork and property details. After the emotional roller coaster of divorce, you deserve some support. Don't be afraid to tap into resources available to you on your solo journey, like talking to somebody like a therapist that can help you handle your feelings. I personally did that, and I also started going to church, which helped. The financial advice that they give you can guide you through all the money stuff. If you have questions, legal services are out there for you. And join a group of people that connect and really can walk and talk what you're going through. Just remember, you're not in this by yourself. This is a new chapter of life. There are plenty of people cheering you on. I'm obviously one that would be happy to talk. Finally, it's time to roll the dice on your future. Now, divorce is a big life event, but it's also an opportunity for a fresh start. Prioritize your well-being, physically and emotionally. Now set those financial goals, working towards a more secure future. Create a positive outlook for yourself and embrace the exciting possibilities ahead. Maybe this is your new game board in which you get to decide how you play it. So take that deep breath, grab your dice, and roll towards a happy and fulfilling future. As a licensed mortgage broker owner and real estate agent, my team and I can help you navigate those new beginnings. And the absolute best part is that you only need one team to help you with this separation or the divorce decree review and how to split your equity in your Colorado real estate. Simply check the top pinned comment or the link in the description to schedule a meeting that works with your schedule. Now, please learn more by watching one of these other videos. And as always, get out and enjoy our sunny days. Stay sweet.